So, greetings and Happy New Year from Claflin Hill. I'm Paul Serpine, director of Claflin Hill Symphony. Hope everybody had a great holiday. We're about ready to kick off the rest of the season now, starting up with a chamber concert on Friday evening, January 22nd, over at the Sing Performance Center at the White and Mill, Alternatives White and Mill in Waynesville. We're doing a couple of very large chamber works. They're not exactly long, but they're very large in content. One of them is the Prokofiev Quintet for kind of an odd mixture of instruments. Oboe, clarinet, of course everything has to have clarinet that we produce here, violin, viola, and bass. Now that's a really unusual configuration for a chamber ensemble. And then the other work we're doing on the program is the Beethoven septet. Septet being for 7 musicians, using again violin, viola, adding the cello, using the bass from the Prokofiev, and then there's clarinet, bassoon, and horn. So this is the first time we've done one of these chamber ensembles that have such a sort of mixed instrumental variety on it. You know, and a couple of things about it. I mean, number one, the Beethoven is like a masterwork of the original classical chamber music repertoire. It's like all Beethoven, you know, muscular, rollicking, visceral, great melodies, just lots of fun for the musicians to play, and lots of fun to the audience to sit and watch it created before your very eyes. Pairing with that, the Prokofiev Quintet now kind of brings to mind, like, you know, in a sense, like the history of chamber music. That, you know, it started out with Beethoven and Mozart and classical composers. A lot of times they wrote chamber music for configurations that were either standardized, like the string quartet, or string trio, or piano with several string instruments. These were standard works. Some of those have a vast repertoire for just that instrumentation alone. And other times they wrote for just groups of their friends, and it was kind of like chamber music. Come on over, I just wrote this septet, or I wrote a divertimento. We'll get together, have food, and you know, a bottle of wine, and we'll play through this chamber music that I just wrote for us all to have fun doing. Going from there, as just Western music evolved through the Romantic period into the 20th century, a lot of these forms actually became artworks totally on their own. Not written for entertainment at a rich emperor or rich patron's estate, written just as an artist would set about to create a brand new swath of color on a canvas, not to do a picture, a portrait, but to do something like, as Picasso did Guernica, or the many amazing works that came out of his Blue period or his Cubist period. Prokofiev's quintet has a lot of sounds in it that kind of come out of Prokofiev's standardized vocabulary. You hear things that remind you of some of his symphonies, some of his ballet music, but in a sense it's really a unique work that he's taken these 5 instruments that don't always get paired together in a group setting and creating a whole different tonality and sound landscape. It's very hard to work on, very hard to learn. In a sense, you know, when we were in college, all of us studied chamber music, and with the idea that hopefully we'll get to play these works out in our careers. That rarely happens. I mean, we all thrill to the giant sounds of the symphony orchestra and the Romantic repertoire, but chamber music is something that largely becomes a labor of love. You don't get large audiences for them. They're small, intimate kind of concert presentations, and a lot of the music is unfamiliar to people. So in a sense, we're doing this amazing program of something that is rarely heard, and something that is from the standard repertoire that is rollicking and exuberant, and I hope people will come and enjoy it. I'm kind of looking forward to working on the Prokofiev and playing it. I first heard it when I was a freshman in music conservatory. It was just such a striking piece that it's been on the back of my mind to work on and play and perform this piece with my friends for many years. January 22nd at the Whiten Mills Sing Performance Center. Hope to see you there.